Tricky Fox. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush green forest, there lived a fox named Felix. Felix was known throughout the forest not just for his fiery orange coat and sharp, observant eyes, but for his cleverness, which he often used to outwit those who crossed his path. Some admired him, while others thought he was a bit too tricky for his own good. One sunny morning, Felix strolled by a quiet stream, sniffing the air for any sign of breakfast. As he approached the water, he overheard a group of forest animals discussing a peculiar challenge. The farmer upon the hill has placed a pile of juicy apples in his yard, whispered a squirrel. He is daring anyone to take one without getting caught. But beware, his dog is always on guard. Felix's ears perked up. He loved a good challenge, and the idea of outsmarting the farmer's fierce dog intrigued him. Perhaps it's time to show everyone that no challenge is too great for Felix, he mused. That night, Felix made his way to the farmer's yard under the cover of darkness. He crouched behind a tall bush and observed. The dog, a burly creature named Bruno, was alert and pacing back and forth, his sharp eyes scanning the area. The apples glistened in the moonlight, stacked high in a wooden basket just a few steps away from the porch. Felix formulated a plan. He trotted quietly to the chicken coop on the side of the yard and let out a soft yelp mimicking the sound of a distressed hen. As expected, Bruno's ears shot up. Without hesitation, the dog charged toward the coop, barking furiously. Too easy, Felix chuckled to himself. While Bruno investigated the coop, Felix dashed toward the basket of apples. But he wasn't careless. With a quick glance over his shoulder, he used his tail to knock over an old bucket, creating a loud clatter near the barn. Bruno's attention immediately shifted, and he raced to the new source of the noise. Seizing the opportunity, Felix grabbed an apple in his mouth and darted back into the shadows. By the time Bruno returned to his post, confused and a little winded, Felix was safely perched on a hill overlooking the forest. He took a bite of the apple, savoring its sweetness. Delicious, he thought, his tail swishing with satisfaction. Word of Felix's success spread quickly throughout the forest. While some admired his ingenuity, others scolded him for his trickery. Felix, however, simply shrugged. I didn't take all the apples, he reasoned, and besides, Bruno got his exercise for the night. But not all stories end without consequence. The next day, the farmer noticed one of his apples was missing and set up a trap. He filled the basket with fake apples and looked real but were painted with a bitter tasting solution. Unaware of the farmer's new trick, Felix returned to the yard the following evening. Once again, he distracted Bruno and snatched another apple, but as soon as he bit into it, his mouth filled with an awful taste. Felix spat it out, his eyes watering. Tissue farmer, he muttered, retreating back into the forest. From that day on, Felix learned that while cleverness could get him far, every cunning move might one day meet its match. The forest animals laughed about the tale for weeks, but Felix took it all in stride. After all, what was life without a bit of adventure and a lesson or two along the way? Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe.